How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to do a video a little different than most of the other guys are doing on HVAC stuff. We've all got real expensive tools, eye manifolds, Testo 520s, and we use these tools every day for our job to diagnose problems and troubleshoot and make money for ourselves. But how many of you guys are actually thinking about safety when you're doing these jobs? Today I'm going to actually talk about electrical safety and HVAC. Electrical is probably our most hazardous type of energy that we work with. We work with it every single day. And I feel there's probably a lot of guys out there that, even though they're aware that electricity is hazardous to them, they maybe have not been taught the correct procedures and correct stuff to wear, and tools to use when diagnosing electrical problems and working with energized pieces of equipment. So I'm going to go through some of the stuff that I use, and that you probably should be using too. Whether you're a residential tech just working on split systems, or you're a big commercial tech working on 500-ton chillers, this kind of stuff will apply to you. First thing I got here is a pair of, they're actually called linesman's gloves, but they're special gloves when you're working with live energized electrical equipment, whatever type of equipment it is. An air conditioner, a furnace, a boiler, a mini split. Whenever you have power to that piece of equipment when you're doing testing, because we all have to work on live equipment that's energized, and we have to do testing sometimes to figure out what's wrong with it. So what I have right here is probably the #1 piece of equipment you should have when you start actually testing and troubleshooting your piece of equipment. And these right here, like I said, they're called linesman gloves. Okay, here's a pair without the leather gloves on them. Okay, now these ones here, these are rated, if you can read that there, they are rated for 500 volts. If I can focus it in on there. This number here, that's the size of the glove. It's a size 10. See if we can get it in focus here on camera. Okay, and these gloves, this is a class 00. Now this glove is good for up to 500 volts. So pretty much everything that we work on, this glove would be pretty much be able to use. A residential guy all the way up to a heavy commercial guy working on 460, 480 volts. Okay, now I also have another pair of gloves. These gloves are rated for 1,000 volts. Okay, so if I'm working on a bigger piece of equipment, if I'm in the 460 range, I like to wear the 1,000 volt gloves, just because, it's a little bit of extra safety. Another thing we're going to talk about here is this date. Okay, now as you can see, it says March 23rd, 2012. Well, these gloves are expired. Okay, these gloves have to be tested every 6 months for them to be used. Okay, so what they do, like you can see right here, see how it's stamped tested September 2010. Okay, and then when I bought these gloves, like I said, I found these are an extra pair of gloves I had. So these have to be sent back in for testing. These gloves can be used again, but they have to either be tested by a qualified person or a qualified company, and they will redate these then that they were tested and that they're safe. What they do is when they test these is they pump them up with air, make sure there's no air leaks in them, because if air leaks out of them, that means voltage can also get into them on your hands. Okay, so these are, like I said, when you're troubleshooting, you should have one of these gloves on. See how easy they slide on. And I know guys are like, oh, it's very hard to work with gloves and manipulate gloves. Okay, but you're not wearing these when you're actually working on the equipment. You're wearing these when you're testing. When you got your meter, you're grabbing your meter and you're testing at spots to find voltage. Okay, now I'm doing this with one hand and holding the camera with the other. Okay, so you're testing and making sure. Once you de-energize the equipment, once you shut it off, and you should be, following lockout, tagout procedures. That's something we'll talk about in another video. But once you de-energize the equipment, you don't need these gloves anymore. Okay, because the electrical hazard is gone. You can take them off. And then you can go about doing your work. If you have to change a contactor or change a board or a capacitor, whatever you have to change, then you have your hands free. Because once you shut the power off, it's de-energized and you don't have to worry about getting shocked. Okay? Now what I have here also is, say you're working on a piece of equipment. Say you're in a breaker panel. Okay? And you've got to change a breaker, and it's a screw-in type breaker. First thing you should have on, you have on your gloves. Okay? Put your glove on. Second thing to do is get your special insulated screwdriver out. Okay? These are rated for up to 1,000 volts. And what you want to look for is, whenever you're looking at screwdrivers like this or any type of tool that is electrically rated, you'll be looking for, there's a double triangle. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on that screwdriver, but you'll see a double triangle, one triangle up on top of another, overlapping it. That is the symbol for 1,000 volt safety rating. Okay, and these are the type of tools you want to be using when you're working on live electrical equipment. They also make, like I brought in a pair of, this is a pair of needle nose pliers. Okay, and they're also rated. These are rated for 1,000 volts. And you can see on there, see the double triangle, how it says 1,000 volts? Okay. Now this meter here, this is a field piece meter. Okay. This is a Cat 3. So this is only rated for 600 volts. Okay, so you have to remember that also when you're working with meters. Make sure your meter is rated for the voltage that you're working. I don't believe they make an insulated, don't quote me on this, but I don't believe they make an insulated tool under 1,000 volts anyway. But when you're working with meters and things like that, make sure you check this rating. Make sure you know what category it is. Like I said, this is a category 3, 600 volts max. Like I said, most of us are not working over 600 volts in the HVAC world. We're only working, usually up to 460, 480. So a meter like this will suffice. But a simple tool like this, a simple, nice set of gloves, might be running you around $40, $50. That's for the gloves. Then you buy the leather gloves separately, and then they also have, I carry these also, so like when you're working in the summertime, you put these little cotton gloves on inside your rubber glove. It helps them so they don't stick to your hand. So you put the cotton glove on, and then you can slide your hand in and out of the gloves as you're working. And you buy a little bag. As you can see, it says "Be safe, always wear your gloves." It's got a nice little hook on it. You hook it onto your nice Vito bag that you paid a lot of money for with all your tools. hook that on your Vito bag and you put it wherever you're working. I keep this bag actually right in the front with me. I hook it right on the bulkhead of my van. So it's always there. I always know where it is. This is, if I'm going to troubleshoot something, this is the first thing I grab, is this bag along with my Vito bag, you know, full of tools or whatever tools that I think I'm going to need. But it's cheap insurance for for you. I mean, these gloves could save your life. You know, guys will say, oh, I've been doing this job for 20 years and I test stuff all the time. And you know what? I'm going into my 21st year of doing HVAC mechanical work, and I've been shocked. And I know pretty much everybody else who does this type of work has been shocked. So even if you wear these gloves and they prevent you just from getting shocked, it's worth the money. Okay? There have been many techs that thought, you know, oh, I'm going to work today and I can't wait to get home tonight. I got a softball game with my wife and my kids and we're going to go out, and you know what? Because they didn't wear these gloves, they didn't come home. They either got severely injured or worse yet, they got killed. And nobody wants that. We all work to make money. We all work to spend time with our families, to live comfortably. We don't go to work to die. So I hope this video was helpful to guys. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. I'm here to help with anything, and other guys chime in if you have anything that you feel is something to contribute to safety for HVAC technicians. Please please comment on the video and tell me what you think. I'm going to have more videos on this. I think safety is a number one number one thing that this industry lacks is guys that are trained to work safely. Many accidents could be avoided by just some simple training and techniques on what tools to use and what safety equipment to use. One other thing I wanted to bring up also was, I think I left them over here. Yes, I did. Now you may think these are sunglasses, and they are, but these are safety glasses. This is another item that I always wear when I'm troubleshooting equipment, is a pair of safety glasses, especially when it's operating. Okay, I work in the commercial realm. Guys that work in residential may think, oh, I don't need to wear safety glasses. What do I, you know? But if you ever get a wire in your eye, you're crawling through a crawl space, you're working on a condenser and the fan motor blows up on you, or the fan blade breaks, where's that stuff going? Into your eyes. And what do you need to work? What are the two things that you definitely need, two things you need to work on HVAC equipment? Your eyes and your hands. You can't do any work without your hands, and you can't do any work if you can't see. So, like I said, this is a pair of tinted safety glasses that I usually wear when I'm working outside. These also double as my sunglasses. So this was another thing I wanted to bring up. I mean, some guys say, oh gosh, I hate wearing glasses, blah, 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 blah. Well, a lot of us have to crawl in very tight spaces, you know, you're working with equipment with belts and motors running and things like that. Fans break, squirrel cages break. So when you're diagnosing a piece of equipment, you should have a pair of safety glasses on also, because this will save your eyes, save your eyesight. You don't you don't want to lose an eye because you were trying to diagnose something. You stuck your face in there to look at something, and bam, a belt breaks. And oh my God, it knocked my eye out of my head because you didn't have these on. So that's enough of my rant. I've been going on for about 15 minutes here. But I can't stress enough, guys, work safely. Okay, work, you know, don't do something that you don't, you know, if you're not confident and or nervous about doing, if you're skeptical about doing it, don't do it. Find someone to help you with it or get direction on what you need to do, because in the end, you know, it's actually your responsibility to be safe. You're the one who has to watch out for your own life. Nobody else is going to. You have to watch out for it for yourself. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Comment, please, and share it with everybody. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you have any questions. Please ask them. I will try to answer them as best I can. Thanks a lot.